Ladies and gentlemen, so today we're doing chest for the first time in 5 entire weeks. So from this clip here, you'll see my pec, it didn't completely tear, but it partially torn. And since then, I've not been able to do any pressing movement at all, including shoulder press. I still get pain there, right there. So we're gonna go to the gym today and do it. I'm pretty nervous. I'm scared it's gonna just be injured again, but we're gonna see how it goes. So we're gonna go get a pump and then we're gonna get into the rest of the video. So first of all, we need to get the best combination of pre-workout possible, which part one of that is the squares bar. That is essential. And then part number two, we're gonna go and grab that now. Right, part two of the pre is this beautiful thing. I've never actually tried this one before. It's called the Ripper. I'm not actually sure what flavour it is. It says apple, guava, passion fruit, pineapple, orange and lemon. So it's a bit of a concoction, but either way, a Monster and a squares bar is like the essential pre-workout.
Может, рядом с тобой нам было хорошо. Что-то там за спиной меня так обожгло. Нежная обними, нежная опять. Мою руку возьми, чтобы вместе упасть и в объятиях твоих.
So that is gym done, and I spent way too long in there. So we did 3 chest exercises and then 2 shoulders. With the chest stuff, I went fairly light because obviously it's the first time training it in that long, so I didn't want to kill myself. But I feel okay. So the shoulder exercises, we did 2 lateral raises. So we did 2 presses for chest and then 1 fly for chest. I was in there for about 2 hours though. I don't really know what I was doing in there. So as you'll see from the title, the actual point of this video was to talk about how you balance bulking, training while working a full-time job. So it can be difficult, and I'm going to get into that now. Right, so I work a full-time job, 9 till 5, 8 hours a day, Monday to Friday. So my situation is going to be completely different to your situation. So I work in an office-based job. You might be an electrician, you might be a scaffolder, you might be an accountant, you might be a PT, you might work in retail. So obviously your situation is going to differ from the next person. So what I do, you can't do. What you do, I can't do. So luckily for me, in my situation, I'm allowed to bring food into work, store it in the fridge, heat stuff up in the microwave, eat food while I work, etc, etc, etc. I know that might sound like not a big deal, but I know for a fact in other people's jobs, you don't have that privilege, and you might only get half an hour throughout the day to eat food. So it's easier for me to say, oh, just bring food in to work, eat it throughout the day, because not everyone can do that. So bear in mind your situation is going to differ from the next person's. So the key to actually putting on muscle mass, bulking, cutting, training, whatever it is all about preparation. So obviously working full time, your 3 hours of the day, the time that you've got free in a day is limited. So you need to do what you can with your free time to prepare yourself for the next day. So something that I do is after work and after the gym, after I've done all my daily tasks, when I get a couple of hours spare at the end of the day, I will cook food for the day later. Whether that's doing meal preps for 3 days in advance, whether it's just cooking your tea tea and your dinners for the day later. You can do any of that and then just store it in the fridge or the freezer for the few days in advance. So that's something that you can do. It's all about preparation, as I said. So for me, I'll finish work, go to the gym, come home, I'll cook my tea. But what I'll do is I'll make 2 portions. So for example, if I'm cooking chicken and rice, I'll just double the amount of rice, double the amount of chicken. I'll eat half of it, and then the other half I'll bring into work with the next day for my dinner. Fairly simple, but that's one tip that you can use. So if you're in a dieting phase where you're cutting calories, losing weight, losing fat, it's a lot easier to manage while working, simply because all you have to do really is not eat. It's fairly simple. Where it is tricky is when you're bulking. So obviously when you're bulking, you need to eat an excessive amount of food, especially for me in my situation. I'm eating 5,000 calories a day. So that's where it gets difficult. Adding your meals in throughout the day while working is the sticky point. And as I said at the start, I'm lucky that I can eat throughout the day. But if I was working in my old job, I used to work at JD, and we'd literally get 30 minutes to eat food. So if you was working like a 6 while 3 shift, 6 a.m. while 3 p.m, you'd have half an hour to try and get your food in. You'd eat before work, eat, and your half an hour dinner, and then eat after work. So to try and get your calories in with that limited break in between your shift is very difficult. So if you're in that situation where you don't get a lot of time to eat at work, the best way to do it, I know it's hard, but try and fill up before work and then have food prepared. Bring that into work with you. Try and fit quite a bit of food into that half an hour break, and then you'll just have to eat quite a bit after your shift. Obviously, I'm trying to think about other people's situations. You might work nights where that's a bit different again. It all depends on the person, but it's a lot harder to do while bulking. When you're just cutting or dieting, it's fairly easy, because if you're working an 8-hour shift and you only have half an hour to eat, that's not a massive deal, because you only really need to eat one meal during work and then one meal after work, and that'll probably be calories done for the day. But when you're bulking, it can be tricky. So a tip that you can do is just getting easy to eat and easy to consume foods that you can have on the go. So for me, literally one of the easiest things in the world is just getting protein, getting a shaker, throwing some water in it. Yes, I know water. A lot of people have it with milk, but my stomach says no to milk, and I normally have almond milk, so it's just easier for me to have water. So literally water, 2 scoops of whey. You're talking 50 grams of protein, 200 calories that you can just drink throughout the day. Whether you're driving to work, whether you're at work, driving home from work, you can literally drink it in, 20 seconds? If you really wanted to, you could just throw it down in 20 seconds. And that's 50 grams of protein, 200 calories. It's all about having food that's easy to consume and easy to eat. Whether it's protein shakes, protein bars, cereal bars, fruit, etc, etc. You get the point. So yeah, in terms of preparation, another thing I like to do on a Sunday is do my shop for the week. So I'll make a list first of all, and that list will include what I'm having in terms of carbohydrates, proteins and fats. So I'll make a list, I write proteins, and I'll put red meats, chicken thighs, whey, fish, whatever it's going to be. And then I'll write carbs, potatoes, rice, fruit, etc. Fats, olive oil, eggs, what else? Dark chocolate. So yeah, you can make the list, go shopping, you know what you're getting, and then you can go home and cook the foods for the few days in advance. In terms of meal prepping, I don't like to meal prep for the entire week. Reason being is, if you're cooking the food on the Sunday, by the time you get to a Friday, the food's not going to be too fresh. So what you can do, if you're doing that for the whole week, is cook all the meals, and I'd probably put 3 meals in the freezer. So if you do it on a Sunday, I'd put Wednesday, Thursdays and Fridays meals in the freezer, and then leave Mondays and Tuesdays in the fridge ready to eat. And then obviously once you get to Monday, you can take 1 meal out the freezer, put it in the fridge, and just cycle it like that. That's something that I've done in the past, but obviously now I just cook 2 meals the day before, have 1 the day prior, and then 1 the day later. That's what worked for me. Obviously you may find the 5-day meal prep to work, you may find a 7-day meal prep to work, but for me I just do it the day and the day in advance. I thought I'd have a change of scenery and come for a walk while we talk about this part of the video, but now it's just started to rain and I'm regretting my decision massively. So the next part in the training work balance is going to be simply having time effective workouts, and what I mean by this is just not spending 2 hours in the gym every single day. Say you've worked an 8-hour shift, say it's an hour drive there, an hour drive back, that's 10 hours of your day already gone. You don't want to then add another 2 hours on top of that in the gym. So for me personally, I spend around 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes in the gym every single day. These things here, by the way, used to scare the life out of me as a kid. They're still scary. I swear it just growled at me, but anyway, 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes is usually the sweet spot for me. Anything above that, even an hour and 15 is kind of long, but anything above that point, an hour and a half, 2 hours, is pretty excessive and you don't need to do it. Of course, if you've got the time to do it, feel free, be my guest, spend 2 hours in the gym. But if you're trying to balance work and the gym and you're trying to get big, you also want to spend time on preparing your food for the following day. So what I do is I work 9 till 5, roughly I might do an 8-4, but say I work 9 till 5, I'll go straight to the gym, spend about an hour, 45 minutes in the gym, come home, and then I've got around 3 to 4 hours then after that point to do my food, to do content, to do any videos I'm doing, to go out with my friends, just do anything you want to do. You've got more time like that. You don't want to your whole day just to be working and going to the gym. You want to have fun and enjoy other things as well. So that's what I do. 45-minute sessions are possible and are also effective when it comes to building muscle. And then you might be thinking, how are you possibly going to get big in 45 minutes? How is that possible? Well, let's just say, for example, you're in a push workout you can easily do 5 exercises or even 4 exercises on a push day. So if you don't know already, push is triceps, chest and shoulders. You can easily do a 4 or 5 day, 4 or 5 exercise push day. And that might be a incline press, a shoulder press, a tricep extension and a dip. That's 4 exercises for a push day. So let's say you have 3 minutes of rest in between and you only do 2 sets of each. Right, so 4 exercises, 2 sets each, that's 8 sets, 2 minutes rest in between. You can easily do that in 45 minutes. If you're even more limited in terms of time and you want to give yourself more time after your workout, you can just do supersets, do drop sets. Rather than doing a rest in between both sets, you might just do them back to back. So there is a lot of small things you can add into your workouts to make them more time effective. And having a time effective workout means more time after the gym to prepare your food, which when working a full-time job is going to be essential in doing that. Honestly, I cannot believe I just decided to walk to Tesco. I never walk anywhere, like honestly, I can't remember the last time I've walked anywhere. I just drive because I can't be arsed. And the one time I do, I'm literally drenched, like honestly, I am soaking wet and I've got shorts on. What a dickhead.